Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher posts a video to Facebook criticizing his fellow SEALs who testified against him at trial. The concerns that video is now raising for the SEALs' safety.
Plus, scooters are officially banned from San Diego's most popular beaches and boardwalks. Why scooter companies say that will make neighborhoods less safe. But first, we may have to wait another day before learning whether a San Diego County patient is tested positive for the coronavirus. The county sent samples to the CDC in Atlanta, hoping to have them back today.
Our 10 News reporter Jennifer Dela Cruz is live at the County Health Center. And Jen, regardless of these results, local schools and hospitals, they are taking precautions.
Yeah, guys, right now it seems like everybody is taking some extra safety measures, and that sample was taken on Sunday. It had to be sent to Atlanta, where CDC is headquartered, because right now they're the only ones that can test for the virus. County health officials here were hoping to get those results back this afternoon, but with it being so late on the East Coast now, they say that might happen tomorrow instead.
It's not just
Local health officials started testing for a potential case of coronavirus in San Diego on Sunday.
we would really hone in on where has that person traveled in San Diego. We know where they've traveled from Wuhan.
While waiting for the result, UCSD taking extra precautions, sending out a notice to students about warning signs and how to stay safe.
I think it's always good to share more information so people are more informed.
The school has about 5,600 students from China enrolled at the La Jolla campus.
I've been washing my hands a lot better and keeping my distance away from people.
UC San Diego says they're tracking the locations of their international students, but add none of their students studying abroad are at the high-risk locations in China. Local hospitals also stepping up safety protocols. Kaiser Permanente, Scripps, and Sharp Health all echoing the same measures, saying they're paying special attention to patients with symptoms of a fever who have recently traveled to China.
Wash your hands frequently and properly. Don't touch your eyes, nose, or your mouth after you've been touching items out in the community.
And farther south, it's a concern there too. On Monday, the last flight from Beijing landed in Tijuana, where passengers were screened at the border crossing for the virus. That San Diego patient is in isolation at their home. Still no word on those test results. Reporting live tonight, Jennifer Dela Cruz, 10 News.
Jen, thank you. It could take as much as a year and a half before investigators release their final report on that helicopter crash that killed Kobe Bryant and 8 others on Sunday. Right now, the NTSB is looking over new video that shows Bryant's helicopter circling just before the crash. It also says that the debris field spans several hundred feet, bigger than a football field. All 9 bodies have been recovered from the wreckage, along with an iPad, a cell phone, and maintenance records. The NTSB expects to release an initial report here in about 10 days.
In just 2 days after losing its beloved coach in that helicopter crash, Orange Coast College's baseball team played its season opener against Chula Vista's Southwestern College. The team honored Coach John Altobelli with an on-field ceremony before today's game. He, his wife, and daughter all died in Sunday's crash. Altobelli coached Orange Coast for 4 state championships, building the program up from the ground.
As you guys were walking in, you saw this is the house that Alto built. Everything you see here, Alto fundraised for, he did it all. And when I say this is the house that Alto built, he didn't do it lightly. It took him 28 years, and this was his dream job, and he loved every second of this job.
Altobelli's assistant coach took over for today's game. Altobelli's family said they were overwhelmed by today's support.
A magnitude 7.7 earthquake near Jamaica in the middle of the Caribbean Sea was felt hundreds of miles away in Miami today. Thankfully, because the quake hit far out at sea, there are no reports of injuries or damage. But that didn't stop people around the Caribbean islands in South Florida from getting out of their buildings when they felt that shaking. A tsunami warning was issued but canceled after no tsunami was observed. There have been a handful of aftershocks throughout the afternoon, but none that caused any damage.
Retired Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher is going after his former teammates who accused him of war crimes. In a new video on social media, Gallagher calls the SEALs who testified against him cowards. As 10 News anchor Derek Stahl reports, the video has raised concerns about the SEALs' safety.
For my entire adult life, I've had the honor and privilege of fighting for this country and for your freedom. The 3-minute video begins with former Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher asserting the war crimes charges against him were false, drummed up by, in his words, cowards in his platoon.
For those who have and continue to slander my name, the truth is coming.
The video then shows the names and photos of 7 people who took part in the NCIS investigation, along with their duty status and unit. We've blurred the video because some former SEALs say it could put those on active duty and their mission in jeopardy.
That's preposterous. First of all, there is nothing in this video that's not already public knowledge and public record.
Gallagher's attorney says the video is intended to be a response to an episode of the New York Times series The Weekly.
This massive leak gives us insight into a very secretive brotherhood of commandos that otherwise we would never get to see.
I saw Eddie take a shot at probably a 12-year-old kid. The guy got crazier and crazier.
You can tell he was perfectly okay with killing anybody.
The documentary aired last month with leaked videos and new insight into the charges against the platoon chief. At a trial in San Diego, Gallagher was acquitted of murdering an ISIS teen after a witness dramatically changed his testimony on the stand. But Gallagher was convicted of posing in a picture with the body. President Trump overturned the punishment.
Eddie Gallagher would have been perfectly happy to go off quietly into retirement, and we could have just rested on the fact that he was acquitted. But the fact that they keep, pushing this to try and get people all upset and thinking that Eddie Gallagher is guilty, it requires a response.
Gallagher's attorney says there will likely be more videos in his client's quest to clear his name. Derek Stahl, 10 News.
In a statement to 10 News, a spokeswoman for Naval Special Warfare Command says the Navy does not identify active duty SEALs as a matter of policy due to the nature of their work, for the protection of their teammates and their families, and to protect ongoing and future missions.
A woman who caused a head-on crash while driving drunk on the wrong side of the road in Forest Ranch could go to prison for life. A jury found Alexandria Bain guilty of second-degree murder today. Bain had previously been convicted of manslaughter for the crash, but was retried on the murder charge, which she faced because she had 2 previous DUI convictions. Investigators say that Bain had been going more than 60 miles an hour on Camino del Norte back in December of 2016 when that crash happened. She will be sentenced in March.
A news conference about San Diego's smart streetlights instead turned into a tense confrontation. It all happened in the East Village today. City Attorney Maura Elliott was talking about how the cameras in the lights have helped police solve more than 200 crimes. But a group called the Trust SD Coalition says the city needs an ordinance that deals with privacy. They're worried that the data collected by the streetlights could be sold to a third party, which the city says it does and will never happen. Then the group called out Elliott, who owns a small number of stock in General Electric, which owns the company that installed the streetlights. Elliott approved the contract and defended herself today.
I own $18,000 worth of stock to my kids' college account. In order to have a conflict of interest, you have to own at least 3% of the company.
That's not true. I'll provide you with the law. We are here about accountability, transparency, and if that means asking the city attorney, in light of her disclosures, to recuse herself from a contract, that is all well and good, it's valid, and it's also reasonable.
Elliott's opponent in the upcoming city attorney's race said in a statement that Elliott sold out San Diegans' privacy to GE in approving the contract.
Red pepper and water caused a hazmat scare at the downtown courthouse this morning. Police and the hazmat team, they responded after a letter covered in red and orange substance was delivered to the jury services office. No one was evacuated, but the jury offices did close and jurors were dismissed for the day. Union Street was briefly blocked off while the team investigated, determining, though, that it was just harmless.
San Diego will extend homeless services to unincorporated parts of the county. The board unanimously approved proposals for more motel vouchers, as well as hiring more homeless resource deputies. The county will also look for a property to build a shelter where health services may be offered.
This isn't just downtown San Diego. We've also got homeless in Fallbrook and in Borrego and in Ramona and Julian. This is a long march, and this is just another step in that march to trying to get to healing.
The county plans to add more staffing to the homeless assistance resource team. Supervisors also want to strengthen regulations when it comes to sleeping on public property. Staff will provide an updated report on February 25th.